Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Unconditional Surrender in Europe, the CUCU campaign. It stands for Cripple UK Collapse the USSR. I have sort of done both. UK's Western allies are starting to make a little bit of a comeback, so I have to try and squash that before the Soviets come back in. We're going to be entering into the July 1943 turn. If you don't know who I am, I'm Dren608. I do streams and videos on Hex Encounter war games. Also starting to branch out into some computer-based role-playing games. I have a series getting close to coming to the end for Bard's Tale Volume 1, and I'm probably going to start some others. Also, we'll be doing some other videos on some other Hex Encounter war games that I feel need to have a little bit of video presence out here in the world. If you like what you see, hit the thumbs up button. Helps the algorithms in YouTube to get more eyes on these various videos. And if you really like what you see, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the notify button. You'll be notified whenever I upload another video or I schedule a stream. With that all said, we're going to go ahead and jump right into July 1943. We skipped the declarations of war because I really didn't see any point to them at this juncture. I am going to give one to the Italians because they're always short. The Spanish are down one, but I don't know if I need to move more than 2 guys. I don't think I need to move hardly anybody at all. So I'm going to keep the production points for the Germans. So that's going to be that. We go into strategic warfare. The Germans only have 1 lost factory. The Allies have lots of ultras, and they're at 5 lost factories. They're matching me on the die rolls. Final of 5, final of 5. They were able to get a bunch of bombed markers in because I didn't have my airplane. Still don't have my airplane in the right place. I'm going to try and rectify that. Cut down some of the bombing runs. Have to think about this. Do I want to keep the British down? Decision on this is usually based on when I'm going to get my next submarine. So I go up to the turn track and I look, and I don't get a submarine until September. So from the German standpoint, I think I want to just hang on to it. From the Allied standpoint, whether they get a factory off the Germans or not is really immaterial. They're trying to get the UK's economy recovered to where they can actually do more than one thing at a time. So the Germans say no, and the Allies are going to go ahead and play this because they have 2 ultras anyway. I'm going to commit. And Germany did lose a factory, and the West got 1 back because of the halving effect of the ultra. So see, now next turn I will use the German submarines in order to get that back. Hopefully. Okay. That's strategic warfare, strategic movement. It's always sort of a tricky spot on what you want to do where. But I think I'm just going to go ahead and get prepared now. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go ahead and commit the 7th to defending in Turkey over here. For the West, I thought about this. Not really sure. Check on something. Yeah, okay. Not sure if I've got this too high on volume. I'm going to turn down my mic volume. I think I might be a little too loud there. Hopefully that's a little better. What was I doing? Oh, For the west, yeah, there's not a lot to do. I mean, you could go to. I could seriously just have this guy withdraw back here to try and avoid getting surrounded or whatever, but I just don't see a reason to do that at this point. So the other thing I could do is I could save myself some British points by moving the BEF into Plymouth by a strategic movement. Reason for that is because Portugal is very likely to, I have a chance now to get Portugal in on the western side. And if I get that, I need to get the BEF, into Portugal or northern Spain or something. Around Corona, that kind of thing. Portugal is very fragile, only has one counter, fairly easy overrun by the Germans. But it would take them a turn to do that, which, while it takes them a turn to do that, they don't have a turn to take out Gibraltar. Which is the whole point of this. You're trying to hang on to Gibraltar until the fall of 43. At least. And then you can think about doing other things with the Allies. Like invading Norway or the Middle East. So, one thing to note, there's a reason why I didn't just walk into Cork last turn, and that I probably won't do it in this turn. I want the Germans to sail, so I can inflict sorties on them. Reason for that is, if I just go in and walk in, they'll take one sortie, but then they can go 10 movement points. So they can go all the way back to Norway, they can come down here to Cadiz, and then threaten invasions around Casablanca and Tangier if their airplanes can pretty much nullify my fleet. There's no reason to give him a free move. I'd rather have a chance to interdict his fleet, his convoy, and put a bunch of sorties on it, so that wherever it did end up, it would end up there with a lot of sorties on it and not be useful for a couple turns. So that's why I didn't bother to walk in there last turn. Well, I really don't see one for the west, so I'm not going to do one in the west. And I'm not sure there was one to do in the Soviet side either. Oh, yeah, we do this. Do we have one up there? So what I do is I usually just take this airplane to save me a sortie. I just go ahead and strategically move it to the front line. Okay, we're done. Ta-da! Action subphase. Okay. Really, the only action is down here in the Middle East. Not in the Middle East, in the north, south, eastern Mediterranean. I guess that is. I want to say Western Mediterranean, but it's the Eastern Mediterranean. Trying to think. Yeah, he stays in supply. Gotta worry about my supply situation here. 2 German units stay in supply because this guy can land in either place. So we need to have them at supply to be able to counter whatever he does. I've got 2 sorties on each of my convoys here. So I don't think I'm going to get ahead of the convoys because I have to do 2 and 2. I have to do at least the 3 German units and the Italian Air Force. Not sure if I have to keep this Italian infantry in supply. So we're really going to come down to seeing how we do here. So let's go ahead and get the Italian aircraft. We want to negate the American aircraft, if at all possible. Okay, so we're just running up the American aircraft because we want to get it to 6 sorties so it can't help. Then we're going to take the 2nd Panzer. He's going to mobile attack here. We will throw in a tank. I could throw an Ultra here, but I think the Ultra needs to be saved for either strategic warfare and or like defenses of Gibraltar and Tangier. So, Actually, we're not going to do this first. Let's undo this. We're not going to do this first. We're going to go ahead and try and get the German convoy he can get whackered lots of ways. There's nothing I can do about it. So I'm not going to bother with an escort. I'm just going to see how far I get. I'm going to go there. Now, the Allied side, they don't know exactly where you're going. They don't see your entire path like I'm doing here. Because I'm playing solitaire, I can see the entire path. But all they will see is this. And then they can intercept with all sorts of things. I want to try and inflict as many sorties as possible. So the first hit could be at +2 to -3. Yeah, he's -2 for convoy, -2 for sortie. So he's -4, +1 because he's German, so he's -3. I would be British and +1 and +1 for air. So I think what I'm going to do, I think we're going to go ahead and hit him with home fleet because that puts me at +2. Now he could throw his submarines to make me less. I could throw my Ultra, but I don't think it's worth it on either side to commit this stuff. Those are more important pieces. And I got a DD3, so he's up to 5 sorties, and he can only go to Brest. Okay, so didn't quite work trying to sneak the convoy out. Actually, you know what I can do? I can actually go back to Cork. That still gives me that capability of getting the free move if he ever decides he wants to own Cork as the West. All right, we'll do that first. Now we do this attack down here because this is where everything's important. Obviously, the Germans are going to throw in their airplane because they kind of have to. The Allies, I'm +3. He's going to be +5. Look at the combat results table. There is a 3 in 36. So what is that? 1 in 18 chance that he'll get a DD. I could commit the Ultra to avoid that, but he's going to get 2 more attacks. If I commit the Ultra, what's it look like? So for 1 turn, he still has a 1 in 36 chance of getting me. I have a 3 in 36 of stopping him outright. Without it, I don't think I have a chance to stop him outright, do I? 1 in 36 chance of stopping him outright. Otherwise, with an AS, otherwise he's going to get some more attacks. I think at this point, the Ultra is more important to try and get the British economy back. And I'm not going to spend it, so I'm just going to let it go. And he got a DR. Now, this is really important. Do not retreat into this hex. Even though it's a mountain hex, don't do it. Reason being, if you go here, this armored unit's not going to advance. He's going to go 1, 2, and then attack you isolated. Yes, it's only 1 attack, but you have no retreat. So even a retreat, he'll be +6, 7, 8, -1. He'll be +7 to your +3. Probably going to get a retreat. You can't retreat, so you'll be flipped. Then the Italian can move up and attack you at +3 because he'll have a tank marker. So has a tank marker. He can attack you at +3 to your +1. And then following that, if that doesn't work, he still has a +1 to +1. Any of those things combine out to give him 2 retreats when you can't retreat. The unit will be eliminated, and I don't have any units really that I can sail back here. I'd have to abandon the Middle East threat to get stuff back. So do not retreat into the mountains. You have to retreat down the coastline. And the Germans go, okay, we go here, and now we're going to attack here with our last airplane. So now we're +6 to your +3, and there's still no chance of a complete elimination, but he's got a 5 and 36 shot to do a DD. It's almost a 1 in 6. That's almost grounds to throw the Ultra to kind of cut those odds down. Huh. Yeah, this is not good in what I do. Again, I think getting the British economy back is more important. And I got another defender retreat. Okay, he's not rolling really well. Neither am I. Now you might think, oh, retreat into Iran because it's part blah, blah, blah. Nope, it's the same thing. If you go into Iran, the Germans, I think they have, let's see, they spent 3, 6. They have 4 movement points left. They'll go 1, 2, 3, 4 and stop right here, putting you in an isolated position and out of supply. Italians can move up, 1, 2, 3 and take 1 pot shot at you at +4, +3 actually, to +3. So they probably wouldn't get anywhere, but they would be there for next turn, and you're stuck. You're isolated. You're in trouble. You do not want to ever have yourself be isolated if you can avoid it. So instead of retreating into the city, I retreat to here. And now the Germans go ahead and take the hex. Now this time they're only going to attack at +3 to +3, so they're not likely to get you. Now you could throw the Ultra here to try and really screw them up, but the odds are, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 7 and 36 that he gets me to retreat. And I don't think there's even and there's no DDs here, so no, I'm not going to do that. And there's no effect. So that ends that combat. Now with the Italians, I don't think I want to move anything. Normally I would, if I had forced that American to retreat, I would move the Italian up to take Iran. But I'm not going to move anything. Because I'll leave me 13, which lets me do my 2 convoys, right? Remember my 2 convoys? And do my 2 convoys, my Italian aircraft, and in this fleet I can get down to 0 in the reorganization phase. This Gibraltar guy could, go off and ostensibly land in Benghazi or even at Taranto or whatever, but he would be out of supply, most likely because they have fleets that can cut him. So, yeah, I think we'll call it a day in the North African, because they can't really get a good attack on the Americans. If they'd have been flipped or something, I'd use the Italians to do that, but it's just not worth the point when I can get that fleet reset. I will go ahead and go after the British Air Force. I'm -1, he's -3. Got him in one go, so I have extra sorties. Oh, yeah. Now, let's see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think, I can't remember where we figured out the best. 2, 3, 4, 5. I think the best place for him is there. can't remember. Been so long since I played this particular situation, I forgot where the best place to put him is. I think it's there, because now he covers Hamburg. He doesn't quite cover Berlin, but he covers a route into Berlin, which means that by the time they get to Berlin, I think it's like it takes 19 to get there. We'll find out in the Western turn how far it takes them to get to Berlin. I think I can keep them. They can hit Berlin, and then they have to be risking an interception for everything else that they want to do. We'll see. Why didn't I strategically move the BEF to Plymouth? What's wrong with me? I even talked about it, and I didn't do it. I'm an idiot. Okay. Well, I could try the whole para-drop going after Gibraltar thing, but I don't think it's worth the points. He's a 3. He's not isolated. I would be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Minus 1 would be plus 7. So worst he's going to get is a 4. At plus 7, if I roll a 6, that's 13 half, becomes a 7. And a 6 plus a 5 plus 7, and a 4 plus 7 becomes a 6. So I have 3 possible die rolls, and he has to roll a 1 for me to succeed. Since I don't have the heavy artillery, I don't have a little better chance of getting him to flip. Very hard to do this when you don't have him isolated. When you get him isolated, that extra plus 2 means you can get like 2 plus 8 attacks or plus 9 attacks, stuff like that. Right now, I can't do that. So one of the things I did want to do is I want to get this Spaniard down here, because I may have to swap him in for a German unit. I'm not sure. Do that. Want this airplane to get down sorties. That's the other thing, is in order to do an attack, I have to take myself down up to 5 sorties, and I'm trying to get ahead of the aircraft game here. Yeah. I'm not executing this very well. Well, I think what we'll do, we'll go ahead, have the 3 armored units attack. It's like I need to roll 4, 5, or 6. Assault. You bugger. Assault. Like I have to roll 4, 5, or 6. Let's look at the combat results table. Yeah, I need a 4, 5, or 6, and he needs a 1. So that's a 3 and 36. What is that? 3 goes into 36. 18? No, 12. There's a 1 in 12 chance that it'll go the way I want. However, there's no AA results for him in defense. So right now, without an airplane, I have that chance. Now, if I throw in the airplane, I get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in 36. A 1 in 6 chance, and he's, like that. Now, can I trick him into using his Ultra by not using my airplane and not caring that I don't take it this turn? If I can get him to use up his Ultra, now that becomes a question of, will he do it? So we're going to cancel the attack. We're going to go look at the turn track. When is he getting his Ultra back? Okay, he's getting his Ultra back right away in August. So it was only a 1 turn delay for him. So he's probably going to go ahead and spend that ultra because he doesn't care, to try and ensure that I don't have any chance at all. So what would that look like if I did that? If I go in there, I don't bother to use my airplane, uses his ultra. No chance at all for me to get anywhere, and 1 in 36 chance that I get flipped. If I use an airplane sortie, right? Say I do this. Let's take a look at that. Now we're hard to see that part out. Now I'm back to a 1 in 36 chance for me, but no chance of any of my units being flipped. At this point, I don't care if my unit is flipped. I have the points to rebuild it. I really need to get ahead of him on the air sorties, so I'm going to leave that alone. Now, Commonwealth has to think about this. Yes, they want to hang on to Gibraltar. Right now, there's a 3 in 36 chance that he'll get a retreat. If he does, then I will be down to only being a +1, and he will have an infantry that he can throw a tank, he can throw an airplane, which would get him up to 2 for German, 2 for tank, 2 for airplane. That's 6. -1 is a +5, which means if he rolls a 6, he can get himself to a 6. Otherwise, he's going to be at a +5. I'm going to be a +1. He could then drop the airdrop marker on Gibraltar to make me a -1. And then he has a decent chance of actually taking it. Not a decent chance, but he has a better chance of taking Gibraltar without having to have it isolated. So since I know I'm getting an ultra again next turn, I am going to go ahead and spend this. Because now, if he doesn't throw in his airplane, he has no chance at all. And if he does throw in his airplane, Germans throw in their airplane, they have a 1 in 36 chance of getting that retreat. And as I discussed before, I'm trying to get ahead of the sortie game in air power. So I'm not gonna. I'm gonna go ahead and not use the airplane. He's gonna commit his ultra. And with that, we know that I will not succeed. It's just a matter of whether I get my armored unit flipped or not. And I'm just stopped. Okay. But I got him to use his ultra. So now let's go look and see where this ultra is coming in. Okay, this ultra is not coming back till November, so that's something. Okay. All right. Well, that's pretty much it over here. I'm gonna go ahead and get these Yugoslavian sacrificial units moving. Good. Up here. I'm going there. Probably going to bring a real unit out of here by a rail. He can't move into Italy, so he can just go sit here. Sit on a rail? Probably should just sit on a rail. In case I need to rail them around or move them somewhere. Did I have anything to move in Turkey? I'm making him roll a die here. Got one guy here in the German. This Turk is defending this. This guy's in Haifa. I should put him in Port Said for my shenanigans if I decide to do shenanigans. I'm going to get out of Haifa. I'm going to go into Port Said. And I don't think I had anything to move down here. Nope. Okay. That's the Turks. So let's go look at the Romanians, see if there's... Where's my... I lost my mouse. There it is. We're going to go look in Russia. We probably need to... Yeah, this guy needs to come out of Sebastopol. Probably moves up here for now. Oh, I have some Germans I need to start marching. marching to the east. Same with this guy. Marking yet. March him down here. And here, 3. Just doesn't seem like I have enough air power to do what I want to do with the Germans. I'm really not seeing a whole lot else to do here. Like I said, I'm not going to move this guy this turn. I'm actually going to let him go into limited supply. So I can keep my convoys under control here. Probably will supply them next turn. Yeah, things are not progressing really fast enough for the Germans. Didn't get a lucky flip on the Americans there. And of course, I know better than to let the Americans get into that isolated combat trap. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm done. Still have 22 left with the Germans, which means I can. I can do up to 7 airplanes in convoy and stuff. 6 airplanes in a convoy. So, and I have 1 guy to build. It's just a matter of whether I want to even try in the diplomacy cup. Probably will. So maybe I won't quite do that. But yeah, that's what we'll do. We're going to say we're done with the Axis. Boom. I'm going to leave up the voluntary elimination phase just in case I decide I want to remove that convoy, but I don't think I do. And I'm going to leave myself the capability of declaring war next time because I just might. Don't know. Okay, sent to move to server, trashing supply lines. First we do that because that's the easy part. Everybody that's not being used. Okay. And now Italian infantries. I'll stay at limited supply. Tripoli, Tunis, Damascus. Right, Damascus, Tunis, Tripoli. We're going to keep these guys in supply. Why am I at 3? Why is he at 3? 1 airplane. Oh, where's that nitwit? Is that the 18th? Is that where it was? The 18th? Gotta go check the Turks. No, it's the 7th. the 18th? So the 7th is the one that goes to limited supply. Because I don't need to keep him in full supply till the Russians come in the war, right? Yeah. Where's my, yeah, now my convoys are at 2 and 2, which is what I wanted to be at. Okay, we are done here. I'm going to scroll up here and then say do that. Alright, so we're done. And now the West. Not a lot to really do with the West. I was a dumbass and didn't strategically move this guy, so I guess I will just... I want to put him in his position where he can actually invade, because we have an American surprise attack marker. So I'm going to go ahead and drop him in Plymouth. I know it costs me build points, production points to do that, but I mean, I have the threat of trying to go into Brest because I do have my airdrop marker. Or I could do the long-range attack into Corona if Portugal should come in on my side. Could try to go down there to support it, and so on and so forth. What have I got to build for the Allies? Absolutely nothing. So what I need to do is make sure. Well, convoy is threatening and I don't think. I'm trying to think if there's something to do with the Americans, but I really don't see anything. Nope, I really don't see anything. Alright, so I guess we're just going to do some bombing. That's all we really got left. Let's do a bombing run. Let's see where this airplane extends. So now if I go here, I go here, so I can just barely make it to Berlin without getting intercepted. So I can get one bombed marker in, but if I want to try to get to Leipzig, I've got to cut the corner, which means he can intercept me. So I think instead of doing that, we're going to use the Americans because they don't cost me anything. And I'll try to hit Metz too. And then his airplane can come and get me. Commit. And blew that bomber up. Okay. Now I could try to run the British in to get the bound marker on there. But I think I'm going to save it. Because I may not want to spend the... Well, I'm going to spend the points, aren't I? 4, 8. And 3 is 11. Do I have to spend anything in Middle East? $11. No, everybody's up to full. So I'm going to spend 11 and I've got 18. 4, 8, 3 at Malta, 11. So it's not going to matter. So I might as well try. I mean, it is fair weather, so it's not likely. But if I can get him to go up to 3 sorties, might be worth it. Might make it easier next turn. So we'll confirm. This is economic warfare in a different sense, but the Germans I feel like they have to try and keep this under control. They're already down 1 factory. So they commit. I should stop them. Yeah. And the British will stop there so they can go back down to 3 sorties at the end of their turn. So we only got 1 bomb marker in. We might need to wait an extra turn so I have extra sorties to overwhelm his fighter. And be able to hit 2 or 3 times. Not sure. That's pretty much it for the West. They're not going to do anything. Going to sit tight. Hope for the best. We do have coming in. We got some ground support, which doesn't matter. We do have an ultra next turn. September we get the 1st, which means by October he could be placed someplace useful, maybe actually active by November. So I have to hold on with what I've got before I can get him into play somewhere. And by September he's going to get his ground supports to help his miners again. I've got another garrison coming in November, and I got real infantry here in August. It's going to have to go to the east. And I'm going to have to conclude up Gibraltar here by October or so, because starting November I have to seriously think about what the Russians are going to be able, not Russians, Soviets, but all that Soviet counters can start walking in towards Germany if I don't get somebody in front of them. Okay. I think we're done. And I'm also going to keep my options open here. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to want to do something next turn. So first off, we do that. Supply all without convoys, because some of these guys you don't need to supply. They're at home country. So, okay. He does have a surface action marker. He uses up his surface action marker, then everybody else will be staying in supply. My convoys each have 1, and the American one has 2. So, the first things we're going to do is we're going to do the fleets. And no, not this turn. As a matter of fact, now, one of the things he has 1, 2, 3, 4 guys to supply. So, no matter what I do, even if he escorts both of the convoy, because he can go 2 on each in Gibraltar and in Tangier. Interesting. Until I get ahead of him in the air and can chip those fleets down, or get him isolated so he only has the fleet in Gibraltar supplying, I really can't out Navy him. right? So it's kind of pointless. So he's just going to go, let's apply this one here, here. Oh, come on. And I'm just going to say no more of the interceptions this phase. Because even if I tried to intercept him, I can't really stop him. This guy gets down to 2 sorties next turn. Maybe I'll be able to do something, because I also have this guy I can bring down with 1 sortie. Kind of the shenanigan move. I don't know. He'd have 2 sorties, and he'd have 2 sorties. Might be able to start chipping away at some of the... Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure how to... Don't think I'm doing this very well. So here's going to Gibraltar. So that's good. And then this guy will go up to 2. So what I did there is I tried to make sure that both the convoys that are here in Tangier and in Gibraltar will be at 0 next turn. This guy will only be at, he'll be at 2 sorties, but by these guys being at 0, even if they mess up my fleet, I probably have a good chance of being able to keep myself in supply through September. The September turn might become dicey. Depends on how long I can slow him down on his march into isolating Tangier. Okay, we're done. Soviets, do I have any shenanigans? Armored units behind. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 5. I'm not going to do any shenanigan moves until like November. October, November, I might do a little shuffling. Like I said, the idea here is to not let the Germans really know where your main focus of attack is, because these armored units can move so fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can put a armored unit in the front line here, like in November, before I roll the dice for December turn. And suddenly there could be like 3 armored up here, or I could move one of these armored down here, and there would be 4 armored trying to bust through the clearing. The Germans kind of have to assume that I'm going to go either place and put sufficient forces to slow me down, which is what this is all about. They're trying to slow me down. I'm trying to feint him into giving me a weakness that I can exploit and charge forward with. I got to decide whether I want to go ahead and take out Greece or not. I think it depends on how diplomacy goes this year. Anyway, for the Soviets, I don't see any reason to move anything anywhere. I'm just going to be working on getting my airplanes back. Yeah, I think I'm done. Not going to eliminate anything. Say supply all because I know everything's supplying over land. Hurry up. The new server. Done. Okay. Now, this is my voluntary elimination. I wasn't sure if I was going to have to eliminate this convoy to get it where I want, but I think I'll just leave it there and try one more time to get it past C Zone 7. So we're not going to eliminate anything. Now, I really thought about the reason why I left this here is I really, really seriously thought about just eliminating this American airplane so I could rebuild it next turn. But then I thought about it a second time when I was messing around with actual doing movement, figuring out what the Germans could possibly do, and figured out that's probably not a good idea. So I'm not going to do that. Okay, improvement of units. Yes, we're going to improve this. Have to get the airplanes. And the airplanes. And the airplanes. And the airplanes. We got 9 left. I've got 1 guy to build, right? Make sure I keep myself with 5. Got 1 guy to build. Shake me down to 8 so I can also do the convoy. Right, I got 1 guy to build and 5 for diplomacy, so I'm okay. And in the Italians, I specifically saved this so I could do this, 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 and this. Now I can move Italians again in the future. Until I have to start working on my fleets again. Okay. Confirm that. This is easy for the Western Allies. And then I think I talked myself into 3. I still had 4 points left over. So I'm okay. For now. Trying to get enough bomber sorties that I can overwhelm his fighter. It may not happen until later on. Okay, that's their confirmation. The Soviets go here and here. Oh, what the heck? I have no better. I don't need to have them flipped over, but I got nothing else better to do with me. My points at this point. I am not going to upgrade anything yet. Germans are going to build this guy. Question is where? I think I need to send it to the east. I have another one coming later, which I also will send to the east. Because he's not really a good reserve. Actually, he might be a good thing to stick down here in northern Italy and take that that Italian infantry over to the east. That's what I'll do. So I'm going to put him in Munich. And the idea there is that this guy, next turn, I'm going to strategically move this Italian infantry to the Soviet front. And then I'm going to put this guy, I'm just going to march him down here to guard against any shenanigans that he might pull off coming in through North Africa or whatever and getting into Italy. I'll still have at least a couple German units up here to slow down any incursions into northern Germany or to northern Italy. And actually, that won't matter. All right, I'm not going to build the convoy yet. Now we're to diplomacy and the Germans. They really try to work on get Sweden back, so they're going to go ahead and pull one. And they got to know that. And the West is like, well, technically a political failure cannot hurt me because I don't have anything I'm adjacent to that can be activated. So the worst that happens is I pull it out and the Soviets put it back in. But I might be able to dilute the cup by getting some of his either the political sex or the pro-Axis markers out. If I do get a political success or a pro-Western, the question is what do I do with it? Do I activate Portugal? Or do I put another pro marker in Greece? Makes it very unlikely that I will get Greece at that point. Can't really support Greece. Portugal I can kind of sort of support, but not really. At least not for a couple turns. But I will go ahead and pull. See what I get. And I pulled a no event. Well, and the Soviets, they can't do anything with a success. And you definitely don't want to pull the pro-Western one to dilute it from them. So they're going to put back the no events. And we're done. And we've been just about an hour bouncing through that turn. So I'm going to go and save this game. There we are. Pretty sure that that's today. 28th? Yep. Okay. So we saved the game. There's 4 neutrals left. Vichy France, Portugal, Greece. We're trying to get Portugal in the war. I don't think Greece will get in the war unless the Germans decide that they want to just take it out to get another pro marker in the cup, trying to go for Sweden. That might be something I might think about doing. If I'm going to do it, I've got to do it soon. I think I also need to get just at least one Italian infantry over into the east. Huh. Well, let me know what you think in the comments, folks. Yeah, we're going to say this is done. This has been Unconditional Surrender, the CUCU campaign, actually known as CUCU, for Cripple UK Collapse the USSR. UK is down to 9 will and has 4 lost factories. The Germans have 2. Hopefully the Germans are going to try and recover theirs. Germans has 4 extra factories, so the one loss doesn't really hurt them that much. But the British total count is down by 2 because of the loss of the Middle East. So that's the idea, is that you take the Middle East from the British, capture Basra and Kuwait, so the British can't come back through Kuwait. It gives you +3 against the West for the Middle East, for Egypt, Suez, and Basra, and then you get +1 for Norway, and makes it +4, and then +4. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you're +6 if you have an airplane in Stavanger. Right now, I don't have an airplane up there because I'm having to try and shuffle enough aircraft down to try and take Gibraltar. So it's +5 to +5, or +5 to +2 plus whatever he gets for bomb markers, which is going to be +3 this time. And you're also that extra +2 in that fighter in Stavanger makes you +3 against the Soviets. So even though I'm up to, what is it, 9 or 10 conquered countries now? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm up to 10 conquered countries. I can take 2 more countries down. I'm figuring Portugal and Greece possibly. And it'll be +4 against the Soviets when they come in, but I have that +3 to counter it, so it's not that big of a dichotomy, unless they can take those things back away from me. So, yeah, that's kind of the crux of this whole sort of meta game. You're trying to close the Med if at all possible. Failing to close the Med, we'll stall them out in Spain and North Africa for as long as possible, while we're holding back the Russian Soviet advance in 1944. The idea is that he's not getting across the Mediterranean in 43 and taking out Italy. So I will have Italy there to support me in 44 until he gets around to either taking it out or just giving up on that whole concept and just going straight for Germany, which is what you almost have to do with the West. You have to go for Germany at this point. By the time you get to summer of 44, you only got 1 full summer left, and then part of another one in 45, and you've got to get to most of the German cities because they have 82 will. You can destroy the entire German army, and still you'll have to take all their cities. So, because the German army only has 24 or 26 counters or something. So even knocking out going through the entire German army once would not significantly lower their willpower. That's the other good thing about this. It gives you some extra willpower from conquests and collapsing the USSR. You do get your willpower up fairly high. So when you have to lose the odd unit here or there, it's not crucial. Sometimes it's worth it to sacrifice a real German infantry unit to mess up somebody's advance. Okay, enough of me battling. Like I said, I'm Gen608. If you like what you see, hit the thumbs up button. If you really like what you see, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the notify button. And I do mostly hex and counter war games. A lot of them have been Unconditional Surrender because that's what got me started going on YouTube. But I'm starting to try and branch out and do some other hex and counter war games. And I'm also trying to do some computer role-playing games that I've found on Steam that I find intriguing and want to try some things out and share them with all of you. So, with all of that said, until we meet again, stay safe and bye-bye.